Because our skin is constantly sloughing off and regenerating. If we've ever gotten sunburned and we peel, new skin comes. But who we are doesn't change at all, doesn't vary with the sloughing off and regenerating of skin cells. I am not the skin beneath my clothing. I am not the blood flowing through my veins and blood vessels. My blood constantly regenerates. I can donate blood, receive blood, get cut, bleed. None of that changes who I am. I am not the blood flowing through my body. I am not my organs, not my kidneys or my liver, my spleen, my stomach. The cells of the organs regenerate every several years. They become brand new. But I don't change. Could get a kidney transplant, could donate a kidney. But who I am doesn't change. I am not my organs. I am not chemicals in my brain. I am not dopamine or serotonin or norepinephrine. I'm none of those chemicals that are being generated, released into the synapse between the cells. I'm not those chemicals. And again, we know that because the chemicals are being constantly generated, stored, released, reuptaked. All of this is happening in the chemicals, but I am still here. I am not a chemical reaction. If I were just a chemical reaction, then at the end of the reaction, I would cease to exist. In that space between chemical reactions, I would disappear. But I don't. So I am not the chemistry in my brain. I am not the electricity in my brain. I am not the electric charge that runs down the axon, that causes the chemicals to be secreted. Because certainly while there's electricity in my body, I am not just electricity. Who I am does not change based on an electrical impulse. I am not the electricity in my brain. I am not, therefore, my thoughts, my memories, my emotions, because every one of them is a combination of chemistry and electricity in the brain. But since I am neither the chemistry nor the electricity, nor the gray matter or the white matter of the brain, I'm not a physical structure or a lobe. And since I am not that, it means therefore that I am not the thoughts. I'm not the feelings. I'm not the memories. I'm not the emotions. And allow yourself for just a few moments, staying anchored in the breath, to just rest in the awareness of all that you are not. And just allow the spaciousness within yourself, which isn't skin or blood or organs or chemistry or electricity. Allow that spaciousness to just expand. And allow yourself to merge into that spaciousness. Ever so gently, just bring the palms of your hands together at chest level in Namaste, and rub the palms of your hands gently against each other. And press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. Slowly and gently lower the hands and open your eyes. for so many of us, our whole sense of who we are is wrapped up in that which we are not. And when we take it piece by piece, it becomes so obvious. I mean, was there any point in which I said something that anyone here had even a smidgen of doubt? Or was there any point at which you felt like, not quite so sure I can swallow that? Right? I mean, it feels so obvious. Of course I'm not these things. Of course I'm not this. Of course I'm not that. And yet, how most of us identify is as some combination, some collection of all of those. It's like, well, maybe I'm not them each individually, but put them all together and then that is who I am. But you're no more the collection of those things than you are the individual aspects. And in that process of niti, we open ourselves to the possibility of the experience of who we are. Because it's who we are. But we have to let go of who we are not first. You know, for me, I like to think about it where if you think about coming home from work or school at the end of the day and you're stressed out and frustrated and annoyed and body is tense and tired and achy and you decide, I'm going to take a hot bath. I just need a hot bath to soothe the muscles and rest and relax. In order for that hot bath to give you the experience of, right, which is ultimately what a hot bath should give us. I mean, that's the point. In order for that to happen, the critical non-negotiable aspect is you got to get naked, right? I mean, if you get in the bath in your work clothes, you're just going to feel like a, soppy mess of wool and synthetics or cotton, whatever it may be. But I guarantee you're not going to have an experience of, if you try to climb into a hot bath full of your clothes. And the same thing happens. We sit down to meditate, or we embark on a spiritual path, but we bring into it all of that baggage of who we are not. And so the first aspect is, well, let us let go of that which is not self. Like the clothes are not the body. The body has to be naked for the physical bath. And all of these things that we just went through, they are not self. So for the self to have that experience, we've got to free it of the trappings of the not-self. Now, that doesn't mean that we neglect our individual roles and our dharma and our duties. This is what we were speaking about last night, but we'll keep talking about throughout this weekend because it's really critical. It's the yes and. It's not either or. It's not either I am role and dharma and duty and responsibility, or I am soul, spirit, consciousness. Because this is a big confusion people have. Well, I mean, if we're just soul, if the truth of who we are is just consciousness and divinity, like, why do anything? If it's all God and God is perfect, why do anything? And this goes back to both the gift that God gave us that I spoke about last night, and it goes back to really core teachings from the Bhagavad Gita, from the other scriptures about why we are here in human form. And as Pujya Swamiji shared last night, the 3 most difficult and most precious things to have are, number 1, a human body. Why? Because only in the human body can we actually wake up. Yeah, as you said, puppies and kitties and so many animals are wonderful. We love them. And at least as far as we know, they don't have the ability to look at self, to be conscious of self in a way that would enable them to be able to distinguish self from not self. Only humans do. But of course, along with that human body, you need that quest for yearning, as he said, and that presence of the holy ones to help show us the truth. It's like as Bhagavan Krishna told Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, that his duty, his role was to play the role, not to run off to the caves, not to just go off and meditate. To do his duty, play his role, and don't forget who you are, don't forget who I am, don't forget the truth. And that's where we've been given all of these teachings of working with our mind, because the mind, it's very hard. It's very hard to stay anchored in who we are. But that's where the practices come in. So we play the roles, but we remember who we are. The Guru serves as this mirror. Here we are on this beautiful lake. And if you go to the lake and you want to see who you are, because we say, well, then who am I? You go out to the lake and you want to see the reflection in the lake, in a mirror. The water becomes that beautiful mirror. But the problem arises, there's 3 things that we're given as the problems of the mind that keep us from seeing our reflection. And it's easiest to understand it if you think about it as the lake. And one of them is just junk. Now this lake is very beautiful. I haven't been right up to it, but it doesn't look like there's much junk in it. A lot of times you go to lakes, you go to ponds, you go to rivers, and they're full of not just, trash, but just seaweed and kelp and, all kinds of moss and things growing, and you can't actually see. And this is what we call mal. Mal just means that junk in the mind. It's the desires, it's the fears, it's the ego, it's the false identity, it's all of that, the stuff we were talking about last night, the rag and the weish, it's the junk of the mind. The way to free ourselves of that junk of the mind is said to be nishkam karma, or seva, means work without any attachment whatsoever to what's in it for me. Just that's why we say seva purifies our mind. Because it's said to remove the mal, it removes the junk in the mind. Through service, through that nishkam karma, that action, without any attachment whatsoever, it enables me to become free of all of the games of the mind that are, what about me? So we always say, here in the West, we're all taught that the big question is, what for me? What am I going to get out of it? Whatever we do. Question is always, what for me? What for me? But that actually the real question that spirituality gives us is, what through me? In the what for me, the mind gets full of junk, full of mal. The other thing that happens on the water is there's waves. We call vikshepa, or the vrittis, the constant up and down, constant up and down. Somebody's really nice to me. I'm super happy. I get a raise, I get a promotion, I got a great parking spot. I look in the mirror, I feel happy. I stand on the scale, I feel happy. Whatever it is that I'm generating happiness from. It happens, I'm happy, I'm up. It doesn't happen, someone treats me badly. Someone steals my parking spot, someone else gets the raise, gets the promotion that I should have gotten. I'm down. That constant up and down, up and down, up and down. It's the nature of the mind. It's the nature of nature. But if you're trying to look into the lake and see yourself, you cannot in the waves. If you're trying to look into yourself and see yourself, we cannot see ourselves because every time we go in, the mind says, you're stupid, you're lazy, you're irresponsible, you're worthless, you're not this. Or it tells us the opposite, you're the best, everybody else is stupid. Either way, it's just this constant up and down. And the treatment for this vikshepa, this constant movement, is our spiritual practices, our meditation, our japa, our prayer, yoga. All of these active practices that we do that still the mind, that bring the mind first to one point, and then ultimately that enable it to merge into the divine. Those are the practices that we use to calm the constant fluctuations. And last is awaken, which is covering, a veil. But if you think about it with the lake or a pond, you go out in the morning sometimes onto a body of water, and there's this film that forms on the top of the water overnight. Happens on swimming pools as well. It seems to just happen in general on still water. And if you want to see yourself in it, you just have to kind of move it away. You put your hand in the water and you just clear that film. And it's said that which clears the film of the mind is jnana, wisdom, the practice of jnana yoga, satsang. These practices that bring us into the presence of truth. And so as we're here doing all of these different practices, bringing us all into that state, that truth of who we are starts to emerge, that presence of light, that presence of love, that very truth that isn't the junk in the mind. Last night, just Motherji was mentioning about positive thinking. And it's not a matter of just substituting one type of stuff in the mind for another type of stuff in the mind, which a lot of times when we try to shift positivity, we do. And, we think, okay, instead of looking at somebody and saying they're really ugly, look at them and say they're really beautiful, or, at least they have a nice smile, or a nice hair, or a nice purse, or nice shoes, or whatever it is. It's not that. Yes, obviously that's better than negativity. Anything is better than negativity. But ultimately, the highest goal, that which makes us really positive, is not about how can I find something positive. It's not the silver lining on the dark cloud situation. It's the anchoring in the awareness of the ultimate perfection of creation. because of the perfection of the Creator that makes us see, okay, and this and that. It's like the same way that we move through a flower garden or a fruit orchard. You may prefer roses or jasmine or apples or bananas, but you're not going to walk by the other fruit and go, oh my God, what a stupid orange. Like, doesn't it know that it's supposed to be like that? You understand, well, this is what a banana is like. This is what blueberries are like. This is what an orange is like. They're different. We would never expect every fruit in an orchard to be the same. We would never hold it against a banana that it's not juicy like an orange. We understand, bananas are like this, oranges are like that. So the ultimate positivity, the ultimate shift from negativity to positivity on the deepest level is not just shifting of think of something nice to say, but it's a shift into that acceptance of the perfection of creation. As every flower, as every fruit is different and yet perfect, so is every person, so is every situation. Exactly as it is supposed to be. And if you can move through the world with that equanimity and acceptance and faith in the perfection, then you stop seeing negativity wherever you look. Because the core of a negative mind says, boy, God has really made a mess of this. Made you wrong, and you wrong, and you wrong, and you wrong, and you wrong. Only made me right. But we don't believe like that, right? I mean, we believe that the perfection is perfect, the creation is perfect. So that's the ultimate way to get to the positive way of thinking. With this, I want to ask Pujya Swamiji to share with us his beautiful blessings and inspiration and wisdom of the very truth of who we are. It's on.
Sahana vavatu sahana bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Respected Sadhvi Bhagawati ji, and one of the leading scholar in this country, our respected Dr. Professor Ramarao, who has done such a beautiful divine seva for Encyclopedia of Hinduism. There are few scholars in this country who came forward in late 80s and started working for this amazing work of Hinduism, and gave fully, without even charging anything, how to charge the world with this beautiful wisdom. Because to me, the Sanatan values, insights, wisdom does not belong to Hindus or Sanatanis or Indians only. It belongs to humanity. Because whatever has been said there, shared by our rishis, being in the jungle, being in the mountains, they left everything. They were just sitting just a remote corner. Just imagine Badrinath, when Maharishi Vedvyas sitting there and writing all of these beautiful scriptures. Shankaracharya going all the way to Kedarnath and Badrinath. Left Kaladi, left Kerala, left his hometown, went across India, met everybody. And for what? As Sadhviji was telling, they were not the people who were thinking, what for me? They were the people who always thought about what through us. And that's why today we see this beautiful wisdom, because there was not even a 1 inch of selfishness there. The what for me. Their whole life became the yagna. They were chanting the mantras, but at the same time, not only chanting the mantras, but and chanting their life also with those mantras. And that's what is needed today. When we are talking about our inner illumination, discovering our true self, we don't have to start this journey somewhere in the jungle. We can start right here. Right here. So much has been given to us by these sages and saints. A beautiful mantra, our one of the acharyas, Shankaracharya, he sang so beautifully. Koham kastvam kutayata kame janani kome tata koham kastvam kutayata kame janani kome tata iha sansare khalu dustare iha sansare khalu dustare kripaya pare pahi murare kripaya pare pahi murare bhaj govindam bhaj govindam bhaj govindam mudmate bhaj govindam mudmate bhaj govindam mudmate. First of all, let me tell you one thing. What we are sharing today, it is not you don't know. I am just here to remind you. Smaryatam, natu shikshayet. Smaryatam, just to remind you, because human mind is so amazing at what she was talking about, power of positivity. Because our mind is amazing. Not only one person's mind, everybody's mind is like that. If something negative, even the fake news, negative news travels 10 times, maybe 100 times faster. People without thinking, they don't even go to the source where it came from, and immediately they start sharing with each other. Fake news or negative news travels 100 times faster than the real news. Nahin?
Yes.
We have seen it. And by the time it reaches millions and millions and millions and people's mind is affected, that's what happened in India. Narratives were created, were given in such a way that people started believing in it. And we could see the impact in the results in India. Now they are talking about, yes, these were the fake narratives, this happened, that happened, how it started. But this is our mind. So first of all, power of positivity starts with thinking. If you think positively, here you are. If you start thinking negatively, you lose whatever you have. It is up to you. Every day, that's why I remind people, sadhana is not only sitting hours and hours and hours in meditation. The real sadhana is even closing your eyes for 5 minutes before you sleep and go within and make your own balance sheet. कि where do I stand? अंदर क्या चल रहा है? ध्यान is भीतर उतरना, गहरे उतरना, खुद को तलाशना, खुद को तराशना. Life is over. Just keep thinking about others. How much we don't know even what is tomorrow. COVID has shown us. People were gone like seconds. I remember in our ashram, every year we have International Yoga Festival. People were there, almost more than 100 countries. The 14th festival finished, and 16, the news came, there is a COVID and doors are being closed for people, and so many people were stuck. Few were gone, but several were in our ashram, still there. And they stayed for months because they could not fly. In June, July, sometime when the doors were open, there were people. They were getting so much news from America, from other countries, and they said, we don't want to go now. We want to stay here. We are safe. Being in India, being in the ashram, on the banks of Ganga, they were feeling so safe. Even after COVID was there, over, and they wanted to stay back in India, in the ashram. During that time, with the help of the government, we opened one COVID care center, 100-bed COVID care center. In that COVID care center, people from age of 2 to 92, they all came. Everybody was getting this news from the big hospitals, from everywhere. People were even scared to go to the hospital. And some were looking for a bed in the hospital. They were calling us, please can you have so many connections. If you make one phone call, if you just tell your people that maybe we'll get one bed for my mom, my grandma, my bhabhi or whatever. And during the time I just saw one thing which really made me aware that how people are losing their life. We made a connection with the big hospitals also, with AIMS. AIMS is very close to us. The AIMS director, we were talking on the phone. They said, Swamiji, kuch karna padega, something we have to do. Every day we are losing people. In spite of putting all that effort, we are having a best team of the doctors. But because of immunity, loss of immunity, people are losing their lives. But it is not loss of immunity. I started thinking about that. In our ashram also, people were talking about this every day. Oh, WhatsApp pe kya hai? You know what came on WhatsApp? That person gone, this person gone, that person gone. Every day from next bed to me, that person is also gone. This was the talk during that time. So we started thinking about that. Okay, what is that? Yes, you need medicine. You need medicine. But at the same time, I talked to my people, do one thing. We were not allowed to go out. Even for the Aarti, we sent 5 Rishi Kumars. They just go because if we all go, then so many other people come. So we break the law. We said, not good idea. Okay, maintain the law. At the same time, how to take care of the people. Medicine, I said, no problem. In India, we have a wonderful medicine, Ayurvedic medicines. Kada and our grandmothers have shown us so many ways to save our children, our generations. We used all that, but at the same time, I came to know about this, that people are becoming so negative about life. Because every day they are seeing everybody is leaving. And they were also very concerned. The first thing we did, I said, take away the phone from these people. We took the phone away because phone was the thing, they were having the news. The phone was taken away. They were not happy. They said, oh, we want to be connected with our family. I said, don't worry about your family. Everything will be okay. But right now, you take care of yourself. Second thing we told them, be positive. Don't worry, nothing is going to happen to you. God is here. You are on the banks of Ganga. You will be okay. Give this positive message to yourself. Don't think negatively. The medicine, great. With that medicine, have meditation. The medicine and meditation. And third was this positive thinking. Don't think negatively. Phone were taken away. And then was the diet. Another part was the diet. The right diet was given to them. And I can share with you that for a whole 1 year, not even one casualty took place in the ashram. Not even one casualty. Yes, cylinder was there, oxygen was there, concentrator were there, all were taken care of. But because they were positive, not even one casualty took place. How you think? Everything changes. And one person only said, no. The family was very concerned. Ashram is ashram. We have to take our father away from here. And they took him away in one of the big hospital. And 15 days he kept fighting with his life. And ultimately he was gone. Only one person who was gone. But the rest all were there and were saved. This is the power of thinking, how you think positively. We say, think before you speak, but now I started thinking, think before you think. Yeah, think before you think, what you're thinking. That's what our sages and rishis sitting in the jungle, they have always said, Maneva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayo. No one is your enemy. Your enemy is your mind. No one is your enemy. Your mind can create heaven for you, and your mind can create hell for you. I remember when I was very young, yesterday I was sharing you my life in the jungle. So many people being there. And villagers will come and ask the question also sometime. when you go for bhiksha. And one of the farmer asked this question to one saint, what is life? जीवन क्या है? हम परेशान हो गए, इतनी समस्याएं, इतना दुख, जंगल में रहते हैं, बारिश में घर नहीं है, माई हाउस इज लीकिंग, 2 टाइम का खाना भी नहीं है, इतनी मुश्किल है लाइफ. पानी लाना हो तो even for 1 bucket we have to come down 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Our whole day goes by that for 1 bucket water. All the girls, young girls, they come from the school and then they go back to take water. Now with our Honorable Prime Minister of India, God bless him, amazing that everywhere now, most of the places, water, light and everything has been reached. First thing when he saw our mothers are going in the open, and first thing he did, he created those facilities. Power of thinking. Many powers came and gone, but how you think for the people, think for the society, think for each other, think for everyone. That kind of life is heaven. That's why I said, बोलो लाइफ कैसी है? बोले जैसी बना लो वैसी है. बोलो जीवन कैसा है? बोले जैसा बना लो वैसा है. चाहे इसको नरक बना लो, चाहे इसको स्वर्ग बना लो, बोलो जीवन कैसा है. 2 lines but very powerful. I never forget. How is life? Well, life is what you make it. Whether you turn your life to heaven or to hell, it is in your hand. That power has been given by the divine. That's why Shankaracharya takes you back. Koham kastvam kudayata. First thing is to know who are you. The moment you come to know who am I, most of the time we are giving this thought we are sinner and keep living like a sinner whole life. But in the Indian tradition said, you are not the sinner. Hey, come on. You are a divine soul. You are Punyatma. Why we start thinking like a sinner? Why not think like a saint? And this all can happen with our thinking. That's why I said, think before you think. कैसे जीना है, किस तरह जीना है, this is in our hand. Look at, take any example. I remember, just I'll share this story about when I was very young. I used to go for a walk in Lakshman Jhula every day. In Lakshman Jhula, one beggar, or when you call, whatever you call him, he has no feet, no hands, was sitting every day asking for bhiksha. One day, I talked to him. I said, why don't I take you to ashram? You come and we'll keep you there. He said, no, I'm okay here. Okay? But I said, don't you feel sometime God is not fair to you? No feet, no hands, no shelter, nothing, but still you are here. He said, at least God has given me my eyes. I can see. I am so blissful. Look at that. Sitting on the floor. He's not a beggar, if you ask me. He's richer than us. Who thinks like that? How you think? Sitting on the road, every day he has to beg. There's no shelter, no one to take care of him. And he said, Nani, God is very kind. Yeah, I know that I don't have a feet, I don't have a hands, but I have a beautiful eyes. I can think. I can take his name. Every day I take his name. Yes, I cannot do mala. But in my mind, all the time, I can keep thinking about him. God, you are so great. God, you are so wonderful. I am on the banks of Ganga, I was taken back as, wow, this is a way of thinking also. How you think, spirituality is which makes you think in a right manner, in a right way. It changes your all perceptions. It changes your all the way you think. And that's what you should take as your sadhana. Ki no more negativity. I am going to change myself. I am going to correct myself every day. I will spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time you have. I will make my own balance sheet. I will forget about others now, that what others are doing. If I can do something good for them, super, great. But I will not think negatively about anybody, or I will not do anything negative to anybody. The moment you start think positively, believe me, sadhana starts. Sadhana starts. And the moment you become koham, kastvam, kuta ayata, you start thinking about those relationships. Then you say, oh, you start seeing the divinity in those relationships. Mama ivansho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana, that you are from the divine. And all those connections we have, divine connections. But rather than taking that path, we take another route and become negative. Tomorrow I'll share maybe in the evening. Look at this, because we'll have a few times for question also, for few questions. Just see. Look at Bhagavan Ram. Ayodhya, Ayodhya, Ayodhya we are talking about. And why Ayodhya? What is the story behind Ayodhya that today even we are thinking about Ayodhya? We have forgotten our grandfathers even. What is grandfather name? You know maybe your father name, maybe your grandfather name, great-grandfather name. After that, I don't think so. Many people who are sitting here, they can say, yeah, we can count. What was their name? But why Ram today? And why Ravan is forgotten? Ram is everybody's Ramchandra. Rama Rao Pappu. Why Rama Rao Pappu? Pappu was enough. Gappu was enough. Yeah, but why Rama Rao? We'll talk in the evening. I will leave little time for questions because 12:30 we have to finish. So God bless you. The last line is check yourself. Every evening before we sleep. How to check yourself? We'll talk in the evening. God bless you. And so many people, they are listening this live and send me the messages. And before I came, I became 2 minutes late because of that. Somebody called me from India. Oh, it's so beautiful. Somebody maybe put photographs of this place on sites, or people are maybe watching. They said, oh, we are missing. This is beautiful place, lovely site. And I'm sorry for them also, because we could not accept them because this place was full. Even yesterday also people wanted to come because we don't have many rooms. The last room also was gone. So many people who are listening, I told them, just be online. Whether you are here or there, only thing is, being online, one thing, and being aligned is second thing. Being there in your life, how to be aligned, we'll talk in the evening. But abhi itna hi ke people who could not be here, I pray for them also. When I chanted the mantras, I remembered them also in my heart, and we are together. Even you are sitting there, this corner or that corner. Look at Aruba, came all the way from Aruba, amazing. Aruba to America, yeah. Some called me from Australia. I said, great. खुश रहो, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं. लेकिन अभी इतना ही कि हम सब साथ हैं, एक हैं, और मिलकर यहाँ पर हमको ये अवसर जो मिला है, we got this beautiful opportunity. But in the evening, whenever you have a time, You have a time, you have an opportunity. When you go back, you will not have a same moon. Same moon is same, but you will not have this kind of atmosphere. To be outside, be near the moon. Maybe we can have some 5 minutes meditation with the moon also.
Tomorrow in the evening, we have a special arati and meditation outside with the moon. Yes.
God bless you. Yes. Yes, Ramarao. Let us give a big round of applause our great. He's 90 years old and amazing man. He said, I want to also come. So, wonderful. Welcome. Yes, Ramarao.
I'm an old man of 88.
88, okay.
I went to Rishikesh when I was 16 years old. But ever since we started ever since we planned on the Encyclopedia of Hinduism, I have been so many times. Muniji, this is the third time you are coming to Oxford. You may not remember. Twice you came for my International Congress of Vedanta meetings in the Markham Center locally.
Yes, I came.
This time I am so happy. Instead of me going to Rishikesh, Muniji brought Rishikesh to Oxford. Look here, what a beautiful facility this is. I don't know who planned on this one and organized this one, you know. I was surprised when I saw the announcement that Bhagawati and Bhagawati I met a couple of months ago at the Parliament of World Religions. Muniji was missing. And especially they came during the Guru Purnima. Now, Guru is very important in the Indian tradition. Who is a Guru? Guru is one who dispels our ignorance. In the Indian tradition, knowledge is not a positive acquisition. It is to dispel. In other words, we are all full of knowledge. Rather, what the Guru does is to dispel the ignorance. We are full of knowledge. Even who is God? God is also Adi Guru. So there is a certain Guru Parampara, starting from God, who is Adi Guru. Okay? Yeah. God is an Adi Guru, and then there is a Guru Parampara. And this is not the last one. It will continue and continue, Guruji. And so on this Guru, especially this is Guru Purnima. Purna is fullness. So that on the Guru Purnima, when you meet the Guruji, he dispels our ignorance. For example, how does this, what he taught to you now, is not something, he's not giving you positive thing. He is removing our ignorance. We all know all these things, but somebody has to remove the ignorance. That is what Guruji always is. And I am so happy, very, very happy that Bhagawati ji and Muni ji, they brought Rishikesh to Oxford. See what a pleasant place it is. And I'm so happy to see you both and welcome to you to Oxford. I have been living in this small place for almost 57 years. Yeah, I joined Miami University in 1966. I retired 15 years ago. And all through, though people ask me, how can you spend over half a century in a 1 square mile town? And I tell them, I am more like Singapore Airlines. Singapore doesn't have a domestic airport. If it flies, it goes international. Likewise, when I leave this place, most of the time I end up in Rishikesh. Thank you, Sir Muniji, for coming here. And thank you, Bhagawati ji. Bhagawati, I know, before she was ordained, I knew her as a...
Here, we're going to give you this one.
Yeah. I knew her as a grad student.
Come.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew Bhagawati ji as a grad student. We were talking about some problems, but her PhD done. And see, that is what we call. She came and took over this one. And there's something, if anybody will, any one of you need accommodation, they can, they are welcome to come and stay with me. I live alone. My wife passed away a long time ago, but I have a long, big house. I told her. I told Mahiji that if anybody needs accommodation, they are free to come to them. The only thing I cannot do is I cannot do right. At these days I don't write. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Namaskar ji.
Please.
Such a beautiful Jay, such a beautiful inspiration. You think if when I'm 88 I could be that full of vigor and enthusiasm and life. I mean, you know, we always say it's not about how many days in your life, but how much life in your days. And however many days we're given, it's just God's grace. But how much life in our days is really up to us. So thank you for all of the beautiful seva and great work that you've done throughout the days of your life, but also for giving us such beautiful inspiration and example of really how to fill the days of our life with life in our days. We have a few minutes left, so if anyone has any question, I know we had said we'd be sure to open it for questions. And of course, just to clarify in advance, first of all, the questions do not have to be related to what we say. A lot of times people have this idea that it's questions about the lecture you just heard. It's not that. I mean, sure, of course, if you happen to have a question about what you heard, feel free to ask it. But it's much more a matter of the questions that are in your heart, that are things that you feel if you had an answer to, it would enable you to walk your path of truth, of light, of love, of essence, of divinity, even more clearly. Yeah, Bikram Bhai, and then in the back.
A quick question. So, as a human life, Gita talks about 4 bodhisattvas: Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. Why do we go after Artha and Kama? And how do we get Moksha from Artha and Kama while we are on the planet? Not after the liberation, but while we are living.
Good. Sundar.
It's a great question. It's a much longer question than we have time for at the moment, but he was referring to those of you not familiar with what we speak about as the Purusharths, the highest goals of life. And in the Hindu tradition, we're told Arth, Kam, Dharma, and Moksha. And he's saying, why even bother? Like, why bother with Arth and Kam, and how do we attain Moksha while we're still living? So, in short, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna makes it really clear that we have no choice but to act. Part and parcel, a package deal of this human life is that we act. Arjun says, forget it, I'm not going to do any actions. If my actions are just going to give me karmic repercussions, and if these karmic repercussions are going to make me have to keep coming back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, forget it, I'm not going to act, I'm just going to sit and meditate. And Bhagavan Krishna basically says, no such luck. You cannot not act. we're given, along with these 4 goals, we're given these 4 ashrams as well. And again, there isn't time to go into the depth of it, but they interweave. Brahmacharya, the first phase of our life in which we are essentially students and we're learning. Not just learning in school, but we're learning about life. Brahmacharya, we are moving on the path of true wisdom. Who am I? Then into our grihasthashram phase, where it's part of the package deal. If you didn't have arth and calm, you couldn't actually fulfill the goals of grihasthashram, which is have a family. Have a family, have a job, put food on the table, make money, serve the community, do good work, make, as Pujya Swamiji says, learn, earn, return. So it's the time you're earning, you're having a family, you're propagating the species, there's got to be some level of attachment to the children. These are all part of the package of this human life that we've been given, the roles that we've been given. And then, of course, we move into the Vanprastha and Sannyasa ashram phases of life, where slowly we are detaching. We're retired, the kids are grown, they're able to take care of themselves, we're no longer needed on the nitty-gritty level. So we're able to turn more inward. But with regard specifically to how do we attain moksha while living, well, Bhagavan Krishna gives a very beautiful answer to this, which for me is the kind of the sum of how do we do this thing called life? How do we do this thing called action? Whereas the actions are that which give us karmic fruit. The karmic fruit is going to bind us, so are we inevitably stuck? And that's when he says, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yajjahoshi dadasiyat, yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you do, even your sadhana, even your tapas, even your yagnas, even all of that you would consider for your spiritual awakening, surrender it to me. All of whatever you do, every action, however you do it, whatever part of your body you are using to do it, whatever it involves, just surrender it to me. As long as you are the doer of it, whether you are the CEO at the office and you're the big man on campus and you're the one in charge, or whether you are the performer of the yagna, the doer of the puja, the giver of the dan or the dakshina. Either way, what we are doing from the perspective of I am the doer makes us stuck. What we do from the perspective of being just an instrument in God's hands doesn't bind us. As the microphone is just an instrument relaying my voice and isn't going to have a complex. If I say something really stupid, it's also not going to get itself all puffed up. If I say something really smart, it understands. It's just the instrument. I'm the speaker. In the same way, we are just the instruments for the divine. And if we get ourselves all puffed up or all deflated based on how things go or what's accomplished through us, then we are stuck. But if we're able to live just as that instrument, surrendering it all, then it doesn't make us stuck. Yeah. And just last, yeah.
My question was related to something you mentioned yesterday, Swamiji, which was the 3 T's: tongue management, thought management, and time management. Could you just give us a few pearls of wisdom on that, spiritual? Thank you.
The moment we understand the power we have given, And what is given to us, to some 100 years, to some 80 years, to some 90 years, to some 70 years, or to some 17 years. Yesterday we met, day before yesterday, someone. He was only 17 or 18 or maybe 20 and was gone, was taken. Life is not permanent here. We have to understand that. And sooner is better. The day we understand, your life will be changed. So time management, you must maintain every day your timetable. We have time for, somebody told me that average time people are spending on social media, I don't know here, but in India somebody was talking to me before I came.
It's just as bad here. It's just as bad here.
Is it bad here also? Okay.
Just as bad.
Okay. 6 to 7 hours every day, and some more even. And now you can see in your telephone also, it gives you the report weekly that you have spent more than 10 hours. Yeah, amazing. And when it comes to meditation or satsang, we have to go retreat. Oh, I have to find out. I am so busy. Your time, your talent, whatever has been given to you, it's not, my dear, karma, kama, artha. Beautifully Sadhvi says, package deal. Life is a package deal. I'll share in the evening time because I don't want to take too much time right now. That I received one phone call today and yesterday from the guy who got recently married. Okay? I was really surprised the way he shared today. What he's thinking now. How to use this life. This is a lesson. A person sitting in such a busy life, if he can think, taking him above from everything, how every minute and every moment should be used in my life, I'll share in the evening. But why not us? At least, I'm not talking about 7 hours or 10 hours, even 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. We make our timetable. This is for me. Give that time to yourself. I will spend time for me. Maybe 10 minutes in the morning before I leave, and 10 minutes when I come back before I sleep. ये 10 मिनट आपकी जिंदगी को बदल देंगे. How to use those 20 minutes? We will share in the evening because I don't want to surpass the time. Even today also I became 5 minutes late because this phone call came up, something happened, and then I had to handle it, take care of it. And sorry for that you people were waiting. But मैं चाहता हूँ टाइम पे हो. तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट केवल इतना नहीं है कि घड़ी और टाइम. टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज that how I am going to spend my life. Gone is gone. What is on? How it should stay on. That is very important. Then second, we talked about tongue management. Whatever you see in the world today is because of this tongue. Because tongue is not managed. Whether it's a health or the health of the planet, or the situation of the nations. This is all tongue management, and this all comes from the ego. And how to manage that? Number 2, then is thought management. We discuss in the morning, but we will have more in the evening, that how we can, 3 things are so important for our life. We'll discuss in the evening session. Maybe I'll start with that. I was thinking something else because somebody else asked question today. Somebody sent me the question, but I will start with that. Maybe that question I will take tomorrow. But God bless you, and let me tell you, you are very special. very lucky. I know we keep meeting people all over the world. Thousands and thousands of people come to our ashram. And we share with them, they share with us their life experiences. And not many people get these 4 days to sit together. That's what's a good association. इसकी चर्चा भी शाम को करेंगे. We'll talk about that also. Right now, we are already, I don't know where we are. 10 minutes to 1. Okay, let us close our eyes and Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.